When do you throw a short rod? Well, we're going to talk about that on today's Googan Lab. So a short rod, I consider anything under 7 foot. That kind of splits the difference. Anything over 7, you're getting into your longer rods. So when do you throw something under 7? Well, under a 7 foot, you're going to have more accuracy with your bait. You're going to have less distance. So you got to think about those scenarios where you need that. I love to throw just a straight 7 footer, and I'm going to put that on the short side of things. The 7 footer on up close pitching, casting, anytime I need to skip baits. This is a dock fishing rod for me. I love the go-to, the 7 foot go-to for fishing my Texas rigs, jigs, things like that, where I need to make those accurate up close casts and pitches. Also, throwing a crankbait where you need to make those really good targeted casts, spinner baits as well. You're just making little roll casts around cover that's 30, 40 feet away. I'm using something under 7 foot. I'm gonna go with a twitch. I'm gonna go with the go-to for a lot of that stuff. You have a lot more control over a shorter rod than you do that longer rod. And it's just really good for making accurate pitches and the roll cast. When you get into a longer rod, you've got to worry about what's down here when you're making a sweeping roll cast. Well, the short rod, you just kind of whip it. You don't have to worry about your bait hitting the water or the trolling motor or anything like that. Really a popular length for fishing docks is under 7 foot. So just because it's under 7 foot doesn't mean it has to be like a light rod. It just means that you're going to have more accuracy with it. Another reason I like a shorter rod for up close pitching and roll casting is if I'm getting a big fish on a piece of cover or on a dock and I'm up close, it's really hard for me to dial down my hook set. When I get a big bite, I'm excited and I want to set the hook. So going to a shorter rod, I'm going to have less leverage on that fish. I'm still up close, but I'm going to have less leverage, so I'm less likely to break that fish off. You go with a longer rod, you're up close, a lot of leverage, you can pop that fish off very easily. So another key reason I want to go with a rod under 7 foot is for topwaters and jerk baits, something that I need to walk the dog on, get good action. I'm twitching a lot. When I'm fishing a longer rod, that rod tip's going to be hitting the water, might be hitting the side of the boat. But when I go with a rod like this twitch, which is under 7 foot, and it's a little medium, I can just get that little sweeping little roll cast out there, and then I can work with the rod tip down. I'm not hitting the water. It's perfect. So when you fish a shorter rod, you're just going to notice you have a lot more control, and it feels like you're choking up on a bat, versus a long bat. It's kind of sluggish. You got more leverage, more power with it, but your timing's got to be just right, and it's just more cumbersome. So it's like choking up on a baseball bat. You just have a lot of control with it. So that's the advantages of using a short rod. If you want to see more tips about rods, lures, and everything bass fishing, subscribe right here to the Googan Lab. We'll see you next time.